So if there's anything specific that you want to see, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to go ahead and make that happen for you.
Oh, shit! Oh no.
Oh my God. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the ZAutomotive Tazer. This device is going to allow you to add features like drive modes and performance pages, and also modify existing features like which lights are used for your DRLs, and you can even add a security code to your car that's required to be entered before it'll start. This device is for your MOPAR, and it'll work on 2015 through 2023 Challengers, 2011 through 2023 Chargers and 300s, and 2014 through 2023 Durangos and Grand Cherokees. So in this video, I'm going to talk about things that you can do with the Tazer and also show you the complete install process. I'll also be doing a series of videos where we dive into individual features of the Tazer, so if there's anything that you want to see covered in depth, drop me a comment. If you aren't subscribed, I don't know why not. It's free. You like free things, so go ahead and do it. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this video. So first things first, if you own a 2018 Plus MOPAR, in addition to the Tazer, you're going to also need a double bypass, because these models have the OBD port locked out. So the double bypass, which runs about $50, will mount in your trunk, and I will show that install. And honestly, even if you don't have a car that requires it, I still recommend it because it frees up your OBD2 port in the front of the car so that you can use it for other devices like tuners. Now, the Tazer itself is an unassuming small little device, but don't be fooled. This thing packs a punch. It comes with a USB plug so that you can connect it to your PC or Mac. And that's really the first thing that you'll want to do after downloading the programming utility. Depending on when you purchase your Tazer, it may not have the latest firmware. And this is something that's super important because ZAutomotive routinely goes in and they add features and improvements to the Tazer. So I recommend setting some reminders on your phone or something to routinely go in and check for new firmware. And you can also follow ZAutomotive on social media so you know when new updates are available. Also, if you watch YouTube videos on the Tazer, kind of like this one, take note of when it was recorded because firmware updates happen and information contained in older videos may no longer be accurate. For instance, I watched a video filmed in late September 2023 where remote start wasn't working when something was enabled. This has since been fixed with the latest update. Now, uploading the firmware is easy. First, install the programming utility. You can find it by going to the ZAutomotive website, clicking on the Support tab on the menu, and then clicking Firmware Updates. Now select Tazer Updates. On this page, you'll see the latest firmware downloads that are available, as well as the release notes. Click on the download utility, and then select the appropriate version depending on whether you are on a PC or on a Mac. I have a Mac, so I'm selecting the installer button that I need. Also note that there is a video guide that you can watch on this page if you want to see the installation for PC. So once installed, I just click on the desktop shortcut to launch it and the utility opens. From here we can update the Tazer, configure things like the light show, which I'll cover in depth in a separate video, and you can also view data logs after the device has been installed in your car. But for now, we're going to select Update, and you'll notice that it's looking for your Tazer. Now you can plug it in and it'll show up. The utility will then show you whether your device is married to a car or not. If it's new, it's not going to be married. It'll also show you the serial number of the device and also the firmware version. Use that information to determine if there is a newer firmware update available. If so, just simply click Install Firmware. Once the update is complete, you can go ahead and shut down the update utility, disconnect the Tazer, and now we're ready to go ahead to the install. Alright guys, so now that we went ahead and upgraded the firmware on the Tazer, we're ready to begin the installation. The first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and remove this cover back here. You're going to take this entire piece out. You may need to go up towards the front there because there is some Velcro holding that down, but it pretty much just lifts straight out. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and then I'll show you the part that you need to actually work with. All right, so now that we have that cover out, the part that we're going to need to work with is back here. It's going to be this box right here, and there's two clips. There's one right here, and it's probably a little hard to see, but the other clip is under this side here. And so you can use a screwdriver or a pry tool to go ahead and pop this off. So once we get the top off of this box, we'll be able to see the ports that we need to plug into. And I'm going to add in some pictures from the instruction manual because it is a tight spot and they actually have some better pictures than I would be able to get. All right, so the part that we're going to be working with is right here. The green plug is going to go into this piece here. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then up here, that green area right there is where the white plug is going to go into. It doesn't matter which port you use, you just need to plug it in. So we're going to go ahead, take the green here. All right, there we go, green. All right, so the green plug went over here, the white plug went over there, and it's much easier to see in the user manual or in person. But anyways, now we're just going to run the wire back. So now we're going to move over to the fuse box. Go ahead and take this off. So now what we need to do is locate fuse 37. And that's actually for the radio. It's right there. I don't know how good the lighting is right there, but basically in here it's going to be this fuse right there. It's a 20 amp fuse. So what we're going to do is pull that 20 amp fuse, we're going to plug it into this slot, and then we're going to plug this piece back into the fuse box. So basically it's running two fuses out of one slot, and then you can see there's a little connector piece right here on the end. That's going to plug in to this piece right here from the wire harness, and then we're just going to need to ground it. So let's go ahead and pull this fuse. Right, got the fuse out, and I'm just going to slide that in here. All right, so I have the fuse in. Now we're just going to flip it like this, plug it into where the fuse came out of. All right, so now I'm just going to take this end and go ahead and plug it in. That's connected. All right, guys, so the next step is to go ahead and connect the ground wire. And what we're going to do is loosen this 10mm bolt right here that the battery's grounded to. And then we're just going to slide this piece behind it. You don't have to loosen it all the way. You just need enough room to get this piece slid down in there. So that should do it right there. I'm going to come in through the side and just connect it right there, and then we'll just go ahead and tighten it up. All right, so now the moment of truth, the last step. We just need to plug the Taser in and tidy all of this up, tuck it where you want, kind of using the battery strap to hold it in place. And then we can go ahead and put the top back on the fuse box. And those wires don't interfere with that at all. All right, so that's the finished installation. I went ahead and put the top back on that case and ran the wires back there. The Taser itself is right here, holding it in place with the battery strap. And like I said, the wires don't prevent the fuse box cover from going back on, so you're good there. Now we just need to put the cover back in here, and we're done in the back. We're ready to go ahead and move to the front, turn the car on, and get to work. So before we jump into the controls, I wanted to go over the 3 different categories that the Taser features are broken down into, because this is pretty important. So first, you're going to have vehicle settings. These are accessed when the engine is off, but the ignition is in the run position. Any changes you make to these, they'll continue to operate even if the Taser's unplugged. So there are settings, that you can make up here that are going to take effect, and the Taser doesn't need to be plugged in. Next, we have the live settings. These are only going to be able to be accessed when the engine is on and running, and the settings are only going to take effect when the Taser is actually physically connected. So if you disconnected, these live setting features are going to disappear. So if you're wondering why something stopped working and you disconnected your Taser, it's probably because it's a live setting. Next, we have the non-menu live functions, and these are actually not located in the menu. They're activated automatically or with the steering wheel button combination. So these are the operations the Taser performs live only while it is physically connected. So now let's talk about the steering wheel controls and how to navigate the menu. All right, so we're going to go ahead and turn the ignition to the run position. And as you can see, I already have my Taser connected. So in order to get to the Taser menu, you're going to be using these buttons over here. Now, here's where you want to be to control the Taser. This is the audio menu. So once you're in the audio menu, it's going to say no device. That's fine. You're going to hold down the left button here and then hit this left button. And the first thing popped up is light show. You can hit it again, read DTCs, but we're just cycling through the menu. Clear DTCs, unmarry. Now you're going to want to come here first because it's going to say marry, and this is how you actually marry the device to your car. So you'll notice I'm still holding down the left button. You want to make sure you're holding that down, and then you would click this middle button, which would function as your OK button. So if I wanted to unmarry it, this is what I would click. Go down performance. So let's go into the performance menu. I'm just going to use this button again, like I said, for OK. Click that. And now you got sport, 5-speed. That should be on yes. I'm going to be using the left button here to cycle through this sub menu. So sport 8-speed, yes. SRT set. So the SRT set, you can turn this on here or you can turn it off. Performance set, I have that on. So this is Super Track Pack enabled, and you click yes. You're going to want to have this on if you want the drive modes and stuff like that. And I'll put up a image of the actual instructions that breaks all this stuff down because I don't have it memorized. So let's go. Paddles, you can have that turned on. Steering, for me, this is non-selectable, so if I hit it, doesn't do anything. Depending on your car, it may or may not work. Drive mode, I have that set to SRT. Drive trans, got that on, so I'm able to adjust the transmission. Shift light, that's no. Let's go ahead and turn that on. I don't know if it's going to work or not in this car, but we'll find out. Eco mode, I have that turned on to yes. That's going to allow you to actually use eco mode. And then if you want to do stuff with your tires, you can come in here and adjust that as well. So if you want to change the alert for your TPMS, if you don't want it to alert at 32, you can change it. Then you have radio, you have lighting. You can go into lighting and you can actually change your DRL type if you want to switch the DRL to something other than the standard DRLs. You can do that. Turn off the DRLs if you want to. You can enable, disable fog lights. If your car doesn't have fog lights and you add them, you can enable that for the factory fog lights. Turn off fog lights. Comfort, splash, I don't think it gives me, it doesn't give me options here because it's a Chrysler, so I can't add like the Super B splash page or anything like that. I do get the SRT when I turn it on. I'll show that in a second. Remote windows, you can actually use your key fob to roll down your front windows and roll them back up. Belt ding, this is something that some of y'all need when you're filming YouTube videos and you don't like to wear your seat belt, which you should be wearing, but if you don't and you don't want to hear the ding, you can actually turn that off. Easy exit works on, I think, Challengers. Then you can unmarry. So full reboot, this is something that you're going to want to do when you change certain settings. You're going to want to do a full reboot and then 2 sleep cycles on the car, and the instructions tell you exactly how to do that. I'm not going to show it. Light show, I think I showed a little preview of this. I'm going to be doing a video on light show and all the lighting functions, breaking those down. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys the live menus. For this, the car has to be running, so we're going to go ahead, start it up. Again, I'm going to hold left up here, hit this. You get light show still. Security pin is something that you now see, so this will allow you to enable a pin set or a button combination on the steering wheel that you're going to need to enter before the car will actually start. I'll be doing a video on that as well as other security features. Go ahead and cycle through. Now we have live performance, and so here you have things like brake hold, boost gauge you can turn on, engine, trans auto. You can basically set the power mode to auto. So basically what engine auto is going to do is if I hit this, I can have it so when the car starts it's in eco mode, or I can have it start in sport mode, I can have it start in track mode, or you can just leave it set to auto. And the same thing with the transmission. So basically if you want your car to start up in track mode, you can do that. Again, the instruction manual is going to explain what all this stuff is. I'm really just showing you guys. It's really just 3 buttons you need to worry about. Just hold this down, use this to cycle through the menu, use this to select OK and accept changes. And that's pretty much it, you know, for navigating the menus and everything. That's pretty much what you have to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the different drive modes, the SRT dashboard, what it looks like when you start the car up, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up. But do remember, I am doing a complete series of videos on the Taser, so I'm going to be going in depth with some more of these things. So if there's anything specific that you want to see, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to go ahead and make that happen for you. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the drive modes and SRT dashboard. All right, so when you first start up the car, you're going to get the SRT in the gauge cluster now. So moving over here, you have your drive modes. I also have a shortcut for the SRT dashboard. But if you hit drive modes, basically you're going to have track. So if you want to put it in track mode, you can do that. You can switch it to sport mode. You could do custom. I usually keep it in auto. And if you want to set up auto, you can click here. The only thing you can really change here though is the steering. If you want to adjust the transmission or the traction, you basically have to go to custom mode to be able to do that. So custom is here. So we'll go ahead and put steering in track. We'll go ahead and put traction control in sport, transmission in track. So you can set up custom pretty much however you want. Valet mode, you know, if you're letting someone use your car, a valet or something, it's just going to limit the performance. And then you need a pin to activate it, to deactivate it. Eco mode works. I just need to have the car. Let's switch it back to auto. And now you see eco mode pop up. When you hit eco, you can see over here now you get this little green leaf in the gauge cluster. So that's cool. So when you're in eco mode, your traction is going to be on street. You can adjust the steering settings though if you'd like. Then we'll go back. Let's go to the SRT dashboard. So from here, it's kind of the same thing. You see a lot of the same settings and everything. I'll just have it a little shortcut link there for me. So you can select drive modes, which is what I just showed you guys. Race options, again, it's just going to show you the launch control. That's where it's set. Now, I haven't been able to get performance pages to load here like I did show you though. I have it on the gauge cluster. So when I hit performance pages, it just gives me the please wait. And it'll stay like that for forever, basically, if I let it. So I'm not able to get performance pages to work on the Uconnect screen. Maybe that's something that can be fixed in a future update. There may be something with the car and the Uconnect system on my car that's preventing it from working. But the main things I wanted anyway were the drive modes, to be able to control that. And like I said, if I want to use the performance page stuff, I can actually just come over here and I have it there. So yeah, the instructions do mention that they may not work on the Uconnect screen on every car, but you do get your lap timers, your lap history, top speed, 0 to 60 timer, 0 to 100 timer, eighth mile timer, quarter mile timer, braking distance, current G forces, peak G forces. You get all that in the menu. So basically you get a new menu item, the performance menu. Now the last thing that I'll talk about is probably the most important. You will not see drive modes pop up there immediately when you turn them on in the Taser. For me, it didn't show up until the next day when I started the car. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's an over-the-air update that needs to happen or something for them to be enabled. I'm not sure, but just know that you're not going to see drive modes immediately pop up there. So, turn the car on, turn it off a few times. You can disconnect the negative terminal on the battery if you want, reconnect it. You may be able to get it to show up a little bit quicker, but main thing is, don't worry if they don't show up immediately. They will show up. Just have to give it some time. And I think that about covers it. The last thing I'll show you is what happens when you turn the car off. And when I open the door so it powers off, you get the SRT. So guys, that does it for today's video. Like I said, stay tuned. More videos are coming, more in-depth features on the Taser and some other content. I do have some more install videos coming as well. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.